Now they can hear us, right? When you say that, it's all good. Let's just do a, all right, I'm gonna have to blank out this.
All right, I'll put my castanets away.
Let's see, let's do a sound check real quick. Find my cell phone.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Nice.
Sounds like you are audible.
Alright, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Are we continuing down your takedown path?
Why not?
Or can we do some jiu-jitsu?
This is totally jiu-jitsu. I mean, I don't know why. We've done so much jiu-jitsu, I feel like.
It's very pointed at the floor.
Is it? Here, let me adjust that. Fix this. That's about as tall as we're gonna get. I, for one, think that jiu-jitsu should not abandon takedowns. I think that if you pull guard, you should lose 2 points.
You can lose 2 points in your head if you want. You can feel bad about yourself.
I don't think you should feel bad about yourself. It's a viable option. It's just you shouldn't get negative points.
Why should you get negative points if it's a viable option?
It's a viable option for the person who can't do any takedowns.
Yeah.
I think we should encourage people to do takedowns, and I think that just
Why?
allowing people
When
to
there are
just
other
sit
viable
down.
options.
But that's supposed to be the
Like,
best option.
stop me from sitting down. You can't.
That is pretty hard. If not impossible. I mean, I would stop you from sitting down when you get negative 2 points. That could be the whole match right there.
No.
How many matches are decided by 2 points or less?
Most.
Most.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do the thing.
I want to go over. So yesterday.
Can I show the best way to establish control from this
Yes.
match that we're doing?
All right.
All right. So we get a clench, right, and then we sit down.
It's a terrible idea.
Done.
Terrible idea.
As far as investment and outcome, it's got the best ratio.
Under today's rule set, yes, I think that can't be argued.
I mean, as long as you get some good.
But let's say you decide you want to be I don't know about man, but you want to be a competitor and you want to be good on your feet and and I'm saying this as a person I don't consider myself to be very good on my feet, right? But I'm better than the person who pulls guard every time.
How would you know if they pull guard every time?
Because that's a dead giveaway that the takedowns are, they don't feel good about their takedowns.
Sure.
Anyway, let's go through. I want to keep going.
All right. Am I clinching?
Yeah, you're going to clinch. All right. And so we were talking yesterday about how to create some offense off of the collar tie. When you get to the higher levels, not even necessarily higher levels, but competition, Kevin is correct. A lot of people are going to just sit down right off the bat. And you won't have any reason to use any of these skills or techniques because the person will have conceded that they don't feel confident. They feel more confident on the ground than they do on their feet, right? But when you are up against somebody who isn't going to just go and sit down on their butts, you should have a sense of what you're doing. That's all I'm saying, right? You should have some tools in the toolbox.
You should already feel confident because at least you know that they're bad strategists, right? So you can go in feeling like, yeah, this guy probably isn't that smart. But no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's just this is what the rule set has wrought.
Yeah.
Right? And this is where we are. We're in jiu-jitsu. Although it's interesting, in Abu Dhabi, everyone now does wrestling. You have to wrestle if you want to. You have to know wrestling.
They penalize pulling guard.
Yes. So you have to know it. It's just a function of the rule set.
Yeah.
IBJJF, they don't care if you play guard all day long and just sit.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing is, right, go from the collar tie. If I can't clear, so you can either clear and try to work to something else, or you just get caught here and you're gonna have to deal. If I don't do anything here, he's gonna snap me down. So I have to either to put my hands on the ground, and then he's gonna go behind, right? So if I'm here and I'm messing with this, I can't clear it. Kevin's gonna go, he's gonna take my back, he's gonna set up his game. I'm in the worst position right off the bat. So when we're here, right, if we can't get rid of this or we wanna work from here, this is gonna be one of your best bets right here. So now because I have this kind of, I'm pinning his arm or trapping his arm with my arm, let's turn this way, right? And I don't wanna just hold like this, like I'm not just coming straight down, yeah. What I wanna do is I wanna turn, so I get as good a grip as I can. You see my hands, like, not here, right? You should see my fingers, and I'm gonna turn. And you see that actually turns his elbow in. So that actually makes him a little bit weaker. So just to reiterate, right? If I just come here and I come straight down, it's probably not gonna have that. I mean, it's still okay. If he still tries to tap or snap me, I still have some resistance here, okay? But if I really wanna turn this to my advantage, I wanna get underneath. You see how my elbow comes high and I roll. And now Kevin, he's gonna feel a little bit more in his shoulder, right? And I'm really like bringing my elbow, talking about the critical concepts of getting your elbows down. We're not just light here, we're rolling it, okay? So we're here, and now when Kevin goes and tries to, if he goes to the second hand, right, you can defend too, right? Like you have a hand too. So here you might be hand fighting, right? Okay? So at least this is gonna buy you some time. You can accomplish something similar by coming across, right? And pulling down and turning, right? And I like to turn my shoulder across, but that's not as effective. He's pretty strong. This is gonna like kind of stop me. So in those cases, if I can, I like to get that over tie and I'll peel it off, okay? And so now we're on the 2-on-1, okay? So we're here, you have two options. Depends on whether you like to here, come across, peel that off, okay? Or here, okay? Those are both good. They're both gonna stop the snap until he brings that second hand. If I let him bring the second hand, he's gonna switch off his grip. Look, now I'm gonna get snapped to the other side. So you can't get complacent or be naive. If I'm here, he starts reaching with that arm, I've gotta block it, right? And this is where now we start doing some offense because we've trapped the arm. So we want, if we're ready for this, we want this arm to come across. He's giving us an opening, okay? So if you're gonna drill this, you wanna have your partner step into you. And that makes that, you want me to get the crash pad?
No, that's fine.
All right, so you gotta get in right away. If he comes across with this, you can even bait him a little bit, right? He's gonna come in, right? He's gonna try to break this off, right? You can bait here. When you go, yesterday, I don't know if I haven't put the video out, you okay? We did a lot of these where we took a big step in, like this. Well, you can do that, and that's kind of more of a traditional spin to the outside. But the other way to think of this is when we're here, I can back step. So my left leg, I can back step. And so that way, my shoulders are staying over my hips. The danger is if I take a step here and my hips get out in front of my shoulders, then Kevin's going to be able to take me back.
Yeah, I was noticing, you know, with the Osoto, like you kind of put a lot of weight here. Can you do something like that here?
It's the same idea. Yes, it's the same exact idea. If you notice, if you ever go to any website or YouTube page where it's a judo guy who's teaching no-gi judo, there's almost always this. Just to pin this arm to the shoulder. And so that gives you the connection to your training partner. So if we're here and we want to turn, we have to have this. If we want to go here, it's the same idea. We're going to get heavy on that arm.
Do you remember the old self-defense techniques? Like the rear naked choke self-defense?
Yes.
You're here,
of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Can we do the same thing?
Well, you're not going to have this, right? Because like when you're, okay, go ahead.
It's It's like,
Well, yeah, but yeah, if you do that, if the person's gonna let you, the reason the self-defense works is because the person's like behind you right away. Yeah, and then you can start to walk. But this is hard to do on a resisting opponent who's like on the collar.
yeah.
Right? So if you're gonna do all that, they just kind of move, you're not gonna get to it. Right? But that doesn't mean you can't do an arm spin or a seonage.
So you're like really reaching.
Right. Pulling, because that's gonna go on my shoulder. So you turn my shoulder, now you can do it so, right? Now realistically, is the person gonna just let you do that, right? Probably not. But what that does is it creates heat. Now I'm, yes.
I think it's a nice little starting attachment where I feel like I'm really connected here. And then I'm trying to maintain this tension. As we move here, I'm trying to push and pull. Because I think what I usually struggle with is, like, as I make this turn, there's slabs.
There's a lot of space, yes.
So here I feel like I can keep everything super tight,
Mm-hmm.
close. And I like this, that grip makes it a lot easier.
Super. Right here. I like this a lot if you can, if they're gonna get it. So just here, lock it in. And then you have a lot of control over them. Sorry, poke him in the throat. Poke him in the throat and go. And now you can do a seonage. You can do it like a drop seonage, where you're here, I won't go full, but where you come in and you drop down onto your knees, right? A lot faster than that. The other thing that you'll see is if we're here and I go slow, like let's say I do that back step, right? And I come here and I just put my one knee down. It's super slow, right? And the person, yeah, I'm gonna potentially give up my back. So we're doing this really super slow just to get the movement down, but in reality, you're going a lot. Doesn't mean you have to throw yourself in super fast. It just means that when you go, it can't be with any hesitation. So if you're here and you step, right? If you're like this, you back step. You want to go right to your knees. Okay? And so that's going to let you still be in a good position. So yesterday we were doing this, we were winding up because this is the feature of you roll through and you wind up on your back and you got to get back up. Right? So this one, if we're here, right, and I did this and my hips are outside his hips, right? In order to throw him, I have to like lay down all the way. And now he has an equal chance to get on top of me and in a really bad position. So you have to be, if you're going to do that way, I think you have to be better at like getting ahead and turning, right, into right away. Whereas this way, you stay on your knees, you're going to be cross-eyed. Right, so if I'm here, you can do it to me. Right
Sure.
here. Now, so think about getting this foot here to me, to my foot. Yeah, you can do that one too. Right, now you're going to back step with your left leg. Drop to your knees, right? Now look, just go right to the chest. Boom. Now you're cross-eyed. So you don't have to do all that other stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a quicker spin. You're not going to be getting your shoulders behind your hips when you do it because you're not stepping so far as what we were doing yesterday. Okay, so there's less danger for you and you wind up in a better position because your hips are going to wind up inside
So
the
it's
hips.
like I'm coming in and butt bumping.
It's not a buff stuff. It's not buff stuff. It's not, so yesterday I think what we were talking about is like, I would get in here, especially on this one where I have like an over-under, and I would take a big step and then turn, right? But the problem with that, or the danger with that, is that if I don't turn fast enough, my hips, like my shoulders get behind my hips and now you're gonna take me backwards.
Yeah.
So with this way, all right, I don't wanna step past your foot. Right, so my hips are not going to be, or my shoulders are not going to go behind my hips. So yeah, so if we're here like this, come this way so people can see. So when I go back step. And then when I turn, right, I wind up on top facing down on my knees. So it's, if you want to practice this, you can just think of like here, you don't even have to step. You go 1, 2, but then you would throw that arm.
And how is it different again from Seo? Is it just the arm position?
Well, so Seo, if we did Seo, what I want to do is I want to get my hips between your legs, like underneath your legs.
Isn't that what you're doing at the backside?
No. So what's happening with this, yeah, I am doing a backside, but with the Seo, I would take you directly over my shoulder.
Uh-huh.
That's the Seo.
And then with the non-Seo,
I would be turning
more all the way over.
270 degrees.
So that shoulder is
Yes.
bent. Okay.
So this is a spin, that's why they call this a spin. As opposed
It's
to a
me spin, not you spin.
Well, we're both spinning. I'm spinning and then you're going to spin over.
Yeah.
So the turn, so the mechanic is a little different. Like I'm not sending you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Seo, a classic Seo, is going to be, you know, if I had a gi, or let's say we happen to do it this way, if I had a koga style grip,
Mm-hmm.
and I would come in, and then when I would take you over,
There's
and you
no
see how I
pressure.
carry
Yeah.
your body? With the drop Seo, what I'm doing is I'm coming down here, right, and I'm still going to take you over. So the focus is still bringing you, you still wind up on your back,
Yeah.
but
it's more
the
like
mechanic is different.
a spooling of the
Yes,
person.
spooling is a good word. And this is going to be, I don't want to say that it's faster, but I don't either, it's harder to give up my back too, because I'm not putting my back directly to you.
You're going all the way.
I'm turning, I'm going to continue to spin.
What
So-
I'm thinking about is like spiraling down,
Yeah.
but I have trouble doing that with my body. Am I doing
Yep.
I feel like you just give a little bit more. Hopefully.
And this will get a lot more momentum as I'm pushing into you,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm fighting in, right, if I'm pushing in, that's a lot bigger. Sorry. It's okay.
So I was just like.
That's the one thing I use every day from judo is how to fall.
Yeah.
So you see, the more momentum that gets into it, the more people are pushing, pulling, the more power this is. It doesn't, I don't, it's not, you're not necessarily generating more power. Like I'm pushing, if I'm pushing in.
Yeah. But I'm gonna have to push into you first for
Well, to get that little push-pull.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's usually very difficult to do, right? If I'm here and you start pushing into me, I'm gonna push back.
That was bad.
But if you're going to practice these, now there's different, it should be the same mechanic for, maybe slightly different setups, but the same mechanic for each of these ties.
If we're equal, can we both do it?
If we're both here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Is it whoever gets on the inside of the space?
Yeah, no, I can't do it, because I can't turn, because you're hot, like, if you're here, I can no longer get underneath your arm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And this is where you were.
No, stop, no, we're about my shoulder here.
Oh, sorry.
So the other thing to do, right, is the 2-on-1. And we were talking about this yesterday. I'll cut these together. So often when we're here, and I do peel this off, and you get into this traditional 2-on-1, okay? I've found in my experience that I almost never finish from this position. It's annoying to him, but either he'll post on my head or my shoulder and he'll push away, and he retracts his arm, or I try to lean on it, and he guillotines me, okay? So I was watching this Greco guy, and what he was doing was he would come across here, and he would go what we call an A-frame grip. So it's like this. It's almost like a butterfly, or bat signal.
Like Wu-Tang?
Like Wu-Tang, there you go. So when you're here, and he would keep his head high. So as Kevin tries, like if he even tries to get to my head, right, it's hard, right? Because why? I'm not bent over. So
Wu-Tang forever?
here. So even if I take this off from here, I'll still take that first hand, that underhook, and then I take my head to the other side of his back, right? And so now Kevin can try, right? He's never going to catch me back because my head is hiding behind his shoulders. But unless you're like a contortionist from the circus, it's going to be hard to get to it. So, however you get to the 2-on-1, 1, 2, and then as Kevin goes, you start to drop onto your knees. And then that's going to bring him to his knees.
So you're doing this first, right?
Either one. Any way that you peel off, one, but get this high on the shoulder.
Is it this one?
No. Well, either one, but because that's already there, you probably want to just go to that. Right? So once he's here, I have to worry about my back, because he's going to my back. Right? So I'm not, the more, 1, yeah, you can do it, it's almost like a drag right there. So here, yeah, see how you're on my back already? The only real way I can get out of this is to circle this around. And now you're going to have to use me. Or roll. I guess I can roll.
Granby?
Here.
Be rude. I'm having trouble.
So this is going to be, yeah. Oh, you want to collar grab me? You can, I mean, so I just drop it straight down. So you just drop, I mean, you can do a collar grab too, or a shoulder drag, I guess, would be.
We're here.
Here.
So it's like a double pull, right? Here, and then you're.
Yeah, because right here, now you can go front headlock if you wanted to. Right? Now you can roll through.
That's fine.
So what I really like about this series is that I'm personally not really good at shooting on legs. And it's one of those risk reward things where sometimes I get in on a less experienced person and fine, I win, I take them down. On a more experienced person, they're going to sprawl, good chance. They're going to sprawl on me and now they're going to be on my back. And it, there's an effort that's invested in shooting.
Yeah.
So this is, I consider, not the arm spin part, but this 2-on-1 is a fairly low risk proposition. If it all falls apart, you're not setting yourself up too bad.
Yeah. You can kind of feel a person out, like, will this person let me connect to them? Will they let me put a little bit of weight on them? Like, how comfortable are they?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a way to start building up my connections here. Yeah, I like trying to
Like to snap first.
Yeah, break the posture down as soon as you can, or
Mm-hmm.
really try and make them not feel like they can just move around wherever they want.
Another way to do this is, you can come out hand fight, get yours, right, and then feel where he is, right, and then you can start working from yours, right. Here. And so I'm already behind you.
Yeah.
Which is
my
really
instinct
nice.
is I want to
You want to keep
I
going.
want to cut around
Yes.
and try and keep that, but
So the other way that works into, which is this is, I won't lie and pretend like this is something that I'm doing on a regular basis, but if I'm here, right, and I kick Kevin down, and he gets back up here, right, it'll work right into the arm spin.
like as they come up,
As they're coming up.
you get to take advantage. That's fun.
So these things, this guy, if you ever want to check him out, he teaches this much better than me, but I think it's worthwhile to drill it. And I just was watching, I was like, this is a nice solution for a lot of the things that we're doing from the feet that doesn't expose you to, now if you're going to do lateral drops, that takes a lot more skill, practice, I think. Also for your partner to be safe.
Always ask for permission.
Yeah, don't lateral drop anybody.
Yeah, out of the blue.
But even the arm spins I would be cautious with your partners.
Yeah.
And ideally, this isn't going to come out of the blue. You're going to go and drill this with your partners and get them comfortable with the falling.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want is a person to like post or put their head out in order to post with their head. It will eventually happen. So the other one that he had, so we did this one too, where we were like in this over-under, and it's the same idea where you come in, right? And now Kevin is going to be,
Am I doing stuff?
I don't know, what would you do if the person's here? Yes! Yes! So you go, he wants to go to the back. Oh, and then you do the death blow.
So that's the body lock one.
That's either the body lock or the over-under.
Where I'm trying to.
Right? So if I'm here and he goes body lock, see, look at all this space. right? Here. Because how often do you get, like, sometimes I try to play body locks.
Yeah.
And I get in there, and the person just puts their butt back on me, right? And I can't do anything here.
Yeah.
Right?
You're talking about being here.
Yep. But don't go to your hip.
I don't like this.
No, don't go to your hip.
I know. Hold on. I'm trying to stay tight with this head.
So think about back stepping your left foot. Yes.
I think I need to compromise between like wanting to stay connected to you, but also like dropping down.
You gotta, so another way to think of this is when I go here, I have that A-frame again.
Yeah.
Right? So
my hand is going numb because you're grabbing it.
right. So you want to be, like you should be able to get to your, so if you try to pull your arms out, yeah, it's hard. Right? And so that's not going to help you. So when I'm here, don't think of this, Kevin, don't think of like stepping this way. Think about stepping that. So here.
Alright, let me try.
Are you going to do body lock or are you going to do over
Yeah, how do we get into that? Was it
here? So if I'm here with the body lock, or even any kind of over under.
So, I caught your body a little bit. I'm staying up and hesitating, and then
Yeah.
then you roll.
But the more that you, when you drop, like if you just drop to your knees, here, like get your connection. Yes.
So I'm trying not to like you into the floor.
I appreciate that.
I wish you were here.
This will, I think, take people by surprise.
Yeah.
This is a big throw, like a.
It's a statement maker.
But you want to. They're not going to clinch up with you again. So, or if they're good, they really want to get back at you.
Yeah.
So these are common ties. You have the collar tie, right? So you can either come in on that. This one. You have the sail. You want to do sails, that's fine. If you have more of a judo background, you feel comfortable doing a drop sail, just know that there's a good chance that you're going to get your back taken. You have the over-under, you have the body lock, you have the 2-on-1. I like this one a lot,
Yeah.
especially in a gi. With the gi, you have such a tight grip, and all you're doing, the takedown is like, it's silly almost. As Kevin comes to the side, it's like circle, I'm just going to drop down, and look, I'm right on his back. It doesn't get any easier than that.
I think getting the grip is hard, but once you get it, it's a good grip.
I've never had a problem getting the 2-on-1. I've always had the problem trying to get to a leg. I've always like here, I'll get to here, and now there's too much play. Yeah, there's too much space for you to come with your.
Well, that's the issue that I'm coming across. Like from this stupid 2-on-1, how do you go to the good one? Without,
So I like to, so you see when I do this, now maybe it's a function of arm length too. So if I come over here, I just come right away.
Yeah.
And this is here.
But then you have to do another step to get to the good one.
So what you can do is you just come across.
Yeah.
Right here. And then you were talking about lateral drops. If they try to go backwards on you, right? That's going to be too easy. They're not going to go backwards, but if they do, like they're trying to pull out, right? So if I'm here and you try to pull out, I don't have to do much there. It's just like a knee block, right? And you just kind of sit and do
I
that.
feel like my first instinct here is to sit and drive
Yeah,
down.
that's not a great instinct.
That's no.
I mean,
Like a good old arm drag, I'm gonna.
so you're going to sit.
Yeah.
See, I can always let go.
Yeah. But I pulled guard.
I guess the key there is you probably have a nanosecond to do that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm here and I keep here, my head down, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So if you keep your head pinned on the shoulder, instead of being just like your head up, like, yeah, I think that's a good point. So see that? If I get this either as an arm drag or as a 2-on-1 here, if I keep my head lazy, then yeah, he can be dragging me. So I have to seal his head. So now when he goes to drag me, okay.
Freedom. Freedom's over here. Success. I am in outside control. I've been doing that a lot where, like, if I'm in turtle and someone's across my back, yeah.
Like, but you have my leg.
Yeah, where like your knees are here,
Yeah.
right? And let's say you have a grip like this. I've just been
Yeah, so like a fireman's carry.
yeah, shoving people over.
Yeah.
Although Ethan's getting close to snagging onto that far arm, but every once in a while,
I mean, if you're
as long as I keep my head tight.
yeah, you gotta cross face and fight back. Pull up. Oh,
Sorry.
hit the elbow. Yeah, like that.
I got it.
Oh. That's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah. Because like it's
Yeah.
one step from a crucifix, right?
I
But
mean,
I'm
what
also
I do from here is I'll always try to turn on it.
yeah.
Right.
But if I can manage
This is
to,
the game, right?
but if I can lock down on
Yes.
this knee and keep
Well,
it
it's almost
down,
like a low single, yeah.
I get this form in front of it, and now I can start like pulling it underneath me
Yes.
here. But it is like dangerously close to that crucifix. Like if you manage to latch onto my arm,
It's not the worst thing you can do in that position, right? It's actually a pretty good thing to do if you feel comfortable in there.
yeah,
Because, I mean, what's the alternative? You can do it with your back.
yeah.
Or
But
the pass, or whatever.
yeah, I suppose like if I was worried about the person taking advantage of it, I would probably do something else. But
What you have to do there is either you have to sprawl or you have to move.
I
You know?
don't
So,
crossface.
so here, let's say we're here, we're back. Let's say we're here, right? If you lock up, right, and the person rolls you, right, now
Ta-da.
we're back in. But now I'm gonna get a cross face on.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this is also a good. I remember watching Wade Chalice talk about this. About everybody's always when they do takedowns, they'll do it in like 2 or 3 phases. They'll do the shot, they'll do the entry, they'll do or the setup to the shot, and then maybe they'll do those, and then they do the finishes, and then they do the finish, and then they're done. They're gonna do it again and again. And his point was, don't stop when you take the person down. Because it's not over in a real match, and this is true in Jiu-Jitsu too. It's not over when the person hits. How many times do you see people, they get taken down and they just pop right back up?
Yeah.
All the time. That's like, more often than not, that is what's going to happen in even blue belt competition now. The guys do not concede the takedown. If they can pop back up, they pop back up.
Yeah.
And you might get an advantage. So that's a good rule for both people to say, we're here, there's going to be something else that happens here. Whether they grab your leg, you should be sprawling, you should be getting on the head so you can roll, something else to complete the move. Because just a takedown, just getting the person's back on the ground in Jiu-Jitsu is not the beginning, or is not the end of the exchange or the scramble.
Keep going until you're on the ground.
Yeah. And I think that's actually something that I don't know that we drill that much that way, but it should. For future reference, note to ourselves.
It's kind of a lot of it is mindset. Usually, if you're very like tournament focused, you're like really focused on not conceding those points. But if it's more like you're doing jiu-jitsu for fun, like it's often not worth it to try and pop back up when you can kind of strategize, conserve your energy, and do whatever.
That is true. I think if you're, it depends on the person and their goals. But I would say in general, it's a good idea to train or drill in a way that you complete whatever technique that you're doing all the way to completion, right? All the way to either I've gotten my points or I'm on the top position, or I'm in the position I want to be in.
Should be like the other person knows that I got the thing that I wanted.
Yes. I think that's actually, if you watch and you see a lot of people who scramble out of things, I think that's one of the reasons why they're able to scramble out of things. Because they have, in their mind, they're like, it's not over.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. In your mind, you're like, I've taken the guy down, I put him down on
Well,
his
that's
back.
because everyone you train with always like they take it.
They accept the technique, they accept the takedown. So, but when you train for real, or you compete, that is going to be very rare.
Yeah, and you can tell when you roll like with people and they put a lot of their time and energy into it, and like they're really like spiritually invested in their jiu-jitsu. Like those are the types of people who pop back up when you just like, the Elias and Laird's where you're going to have to beat them into the ground before they will give up.
I don't know that this is as true as it used to be, but there is a kind of a wrestling mindset, and there is a jiu-jitsu mindset, and there is a judo mindset. There's probably a sambo mindset that I'm not as familiar with. Probably just like kids want to knee bar you every time. But with wrestlers, they will never concede to be on the back.
Yeah.
Ever. It doesn't, just your average everyday high school wrestler who has 10 years past, hasn't wrestled a day in their life, if they come into jiu-jitsu, they'll be that guy who will do anything but give up, to lay on his back.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a mentality that's kind of, I think, drilled